quarter. So I'm going real slow here, trying to make sure that I don't have to make a bunch of passes on this. So it's a lot easier to go slow and get it right the first time, and you don't have to keep going back and forth over it. It just works out better. And the slower you go when you're trying to finish grade, the less tendency your blade has to hook the dirt, especially when the dirt's hard. When you got a lot of loose dirt, doesn't really matter. The blade won't hook that bad. But like this dirt's packed pretty good, and it's hard, and it's heavy, and it's wet. So the more speed I put on it, the more the blade tries to like hook the dirt and cut down. And when it does that, then it pulls the dozer down, and it makes just a little ripple in the road. So by slowing down here, you're actually a lot faster. It doesn't feel like it, maybe doesn't look like it right here, but slowing your dozer down makes you a whole lot faster, and you probably cut several trips out of it by doing that. And you can see what I'm talking about here about cutting trips out. So like there's quite a bit of dirt. That dirt's piled up 1.5 2 foot high. And by being pretty careful with it and going slow and making sure I'm going at an appropriate speed for me, which everybody's speed will be different. There's people that run them faster than this. But anyways, I don't have to keep going back and forth over it and dealing with dirt fins and tails, both sides of my blade. That's pretty minimal. So like honestly, after I push over it like this, you can hit it with a box blade, and that it's pretty slick. It's good to go. There's a lot of benefits to walking the dozer a little slower as you get closer to the finished product. And honestly, track wear is a big deal. The slower you run a set of tracks, the longer they're going to last you. They're just not beating and framming and tearing yourself apart as much. So you got that, and then like right there, you see me back up, and I let the blade get a little high. It's a lot easier to identify your problem area when you're not running faster than what you can grade at. So you might be wondering where this dirt that I'm working with come from, and it actually come from stripping the topsoil. So the ditches are about 20 foot wide, give or take, and the road here at this point is probably about 20 to 24 foot wide. But what I did, I went in and stripped, I don't know, I guess probably about 70 foot wide. I stripped all the topsoil off, and we piled it, windrowed it to the side, and I buried it under that ditch on which will be on my right side of my dozer right now. So most of the topsoil got buried under there, and then I set the good dirt back out in the middle, and that's what we're working with to build our road bed. So I'll give you a quick fly over the road. You can see how wet it is. It's so bad wet, it's unreal. I kind of got caught. I thought, I guess me being naive, and this is a lot higher than the other end of the road, but I thought once I got on this end, I wouldn't have any water problems, but then we had like crazy amounts of rain, and I left some of my stuff open. I didn't take the time to carefully ditch it before I left, and then it trapped water. And it would have been fine if it was a little bit of water, but it was so much water, it was unreal. So I've been fighting with the water, and this is just what it is. So got a buffalo here with a calf. It's kind of cool. I thought it was cool. I didn't want to get too close to them with the drone, like freak them out and all that. So I was just panning around them here, but they don't seem to pay it no mind. Yeah, this is the good end of the road. So this is much higher. This is probably a foot higher than the other end. So I was able to scrape this and kind of keep the water off of me. So that was really good. I got a little break there. You can see even out in the field right here, it's completely wet. So It's going to make a nice road. It's just, I would be done with this now if it wasn't for all this water that you see. See, this is the places I was working the other day, and I didn't think I had rain coming, and then I didn't prepare it to flow, and the rain came and it just sat there and saturated the ground. So that was my mistake there. It still would have been bad, but it wouldn't have been quite as bad. So we got to take the panels up. They got to put a fence up by the road. That way we can take these panels up, and then I can tie the road together. Well, the front part of the road's done. Okay, it's a little bit later in the day. I didn't get any footage of. I cut like a little swell off the side of the road. The owner asked me to cut him a swell through the field to catch any water when it's actually flooding. So I just did that, and now I'm coming in here and I'm going to get rid of this water. This water we just flew over just a minute or so in the video, a minute ago in the video. All that water we flew over, I'm going to take this dozer and squeegee it out of here because I ain't got time to be messing around with it and waiting on it to dry. That's probably the smart thing to do. I just don't have that kind of time. So I need to be moving on with this. And, so this right here, I'm spending a few extra hours probably doing this, trying to get this water out of here. But that's really the only thing to do right now at this point because it's either that or go sit somewhere else and wait on it to dry. And if I had a bunch of equipment, that might be an option for me, but I don't. I only got this equipment, and it costs me each time I move it. Especially the 130, I have to contract that out, and so it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to leave and come back. And if I don't push on through this, I'll be late for every job. So that's what we're doing. We're just trying to make the best of it. We're pushing on through it, but I'm keeping the material in front of me, kind of like you've seen me do in the other videos, and I'm just herding this water right on out of here. So the ditch got low right there where the water's sitting. It's really a little too low, so I'm bringing more topsoil in that I had saved for just such an occasion. I'm bringing it in, rolling it over the top, filling in the low spots, and I'm using that to push the water out. So you can take and dry a place up like this. You got to have somewhere for it to go, but you can do it this way. And you can see it's starting to ease out. So. Okay, I'm gonna speed the video up here a little bit just for the sake of time. But anyway, so like I said, I'm just making the best of the situation. I'm gonna get rid of as much of this water as I can, and that's what we're working on right now. And it's pretty effective. It's not fun because everything's muddy and nasty, and the bad part is you can't really finish grade it. I can get it close like this, but the dozer wants to sink in it, and it's gonna have ruts and. So like if this was dry dirt, I wouldn't have to touch this again. I wouldn't have to pull it with the machine, with the excavator or anything like that. Very, very minimal left to be done when I got off of it. But with the situation we have here and this being the consistency of pudding, I'll have to come back with the bucket. You'll see me in just a second if you continue watching. I'll have to come back with a bucket on the excavator and get it close. Finish getting the ruts out. Because if I don't, I'll have spots anywhere the dozer dip down, and ain't nothing you can do about it in a situation like this when it's real muddy. The dozer's going to dip anywhere the dozer dips and bogs, and that's going to hold water. But what you can do is come along and pull across it with the teeth and get it real close, and then it won't hold water. And plus, when you rip it with the teeth, it exposes it. Puts like ridges in it, and then the air can get in there. Dry it out. It dries a lot better like that than it does if you leave it, like slicked off or smooth. And you can see the water getting out of there now. So the video sped up a little bit, but you get the idea. It's really pouring out of there. So that's me. I'm forcing this to dry up. So all right, now I'm gonna get in the excavator. All right, so I'm making my way down to the end. You always want to start at the end. That just past where I'm at now is pretty much finished. So I'm going to get right here where things kind of got messy on me, and I'm going to start pulling it. Got the video in high speed, just for the sake of time. So it's a little boring to me to watch it in regular speed sometimes. So you can kind of see the progress like this a lot better. Anyways, so that's all I'm doing. I'm just cleaning up this corner, and that's the ditch that I cut in, or the little swell. So that was there was a little bit of extra material there, so I'm pulling it. And I'm going to leave this extra material on the shoulder road and let it dry too. So you can see the finish that I'm putting on it with a bucket. It's not fast. It's definitely not fast to do it this way, but about the only option I got. And I'm using, in case you're wondering, the little machine is on site, but I'm using the big machine because I can't reach quite as far with the little machine, even though the little machine is easier to do the grade work, or to me it is. In this situation, it wouldn't be the right call because I'm at my max reach with this machine and be about 3 to 4 foot short with the little machine. So you can see the tooth finish it's not too bad, really. Especially once you get some rain on it. I probably won't mess with this again. Or that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that it's going to look good enough that I won't even need to touch it again. So I'm just pulling it all to the inside, pulling it up there to the shoulder of the road, and either if I feel the need to, I'll come back and pull it on up in the road with the excavator. A lot of times once it dries out, though, I can just run the dozer down the shoulder of the road and I can pull it right back up in the road. It's not a problem. So yeah, definitely not as fast as doing it with a dozer. The ditch on the back side of the machine I already have done. I done it this morning. I had dead batteries for the drone, so I couldn't video anything, so I just went ahead and pulled that backside ditch. It was actually in a little worse shape, I think, than this one. And you can look behind the machine and see that it looks like it's wetter. And it should be good, though. It turned out pretty nice, and once the water dries up, I think I'll be in good shape. Got a side view here. I got to be real careful here because I'm flying the drone and digging. All this footage that you see and all the operating, it's me doing both at the same time. Not sure what I was doing there, but anyways, it's me doing both at the same time. Sometimes it gets a little crazy. Definitely not ideal conditions. This is a muddy mess, but I got it close as I could, squeegeed it with the dozer. You know, all this is water, so you've seen it in the video. There's a lot of people gonna say I shouldn't be out here working, and maybe they're right, maybe they're smarter than me, I don't know. But you know, I got to keep going to try to keep from running late on every job we got. But anyway, so we're just pushing through it. So we pushed all this water out. This is right where I was squeegeeing with the dozer. We pushed it all out there. So it's pretty much all gone, and I'm gonna leave it like this. The idea here is not give it anywhere to sit. I'll walk you up there and show you the rest. Okay, that's where we were just standing, right in front of where the bucket's at. And this is where you see me pushing the water out. My other ditch on the other side of the road didn't get finished the other day, and I got caught with a bunch of water over there, so I dug this cross cut right here in my road, and I let all that water out. And I stripped some more topsoil so that'll drain next time, but it's not ready yet. You know, on the way out, it's not ready, so it's gonna trap water. So I just left the cross flow, and I pushed all that out this morning also. And then this is the ditch going out to where we set the culverts and all. Hopefully this will be enough to, if we do get more rain, it won't just get trapped and be a big mess like it was. So up there where the buffaloes are laying, that's where the road's gonna end. They're enjoying the fresh dirt. But yeah, guys, this is bad conditions, no doubt about it. And if I had a fleet of equipment, like if I had 3 or 4 or 5 excavators and multiple dozers, I probably wouldn't be here working. I'd be on the next job working, and I would come back here. But it costs me money every time I move my stuff, especially the 130. I got to pay to have it moved. So I really need to finish while I'm here. It just doesn't make sense to go and come back with the expense added into it, and it doesn't make sense to sit on my hands and be late for every job. And it does take longer. This definitely takes longer when it's wet, no doubt about that. But we're just pushing through it. We've definitely worked in worse conditions.